Hearn and Tremont party like it's 1999 at the Great Race Place. Another race at Fonda, and you can bet you know who was in victory lane. We go in the pits with an up-and-coming sprint car driver following in the footsteps of his father. All right, it's a little hot. Got to back her down, back her down. Race Pro Weekly, it's time to go. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Race Pro Weekly. I'm your host, Mike Warren. With the Patriot Sprint Tour in town, it was a slick surface for the Upstate GMC Modifieds last Friday night at Albany Saratoga. Who would come out on top? Let's find out in our opening highlight, brought to you by Landho Maintenance. We'll start you off with some sportsman action as Tim Hartman Jr. rolling to the inside of Adam McCullough for the number one spot about halfway through the feature, and that would be all she wrote as Hartman picks up win number one on the season. To the Modifieds now, Chris Vernold will take the early lead in the 97 machine as he rolls it down the back straightaway as cars trying to push their way through. Jesse Mueller up there along with Bobby Hackle and Peter Britton trying to make their way toward the front. Matt Papello in there with a side-by-side battle with C.G. Morey for the number two spot up off of turn number 4 as they would come down the front straightaway with Morey in that second position. Papello would get him back as they bring him down into turn number 3 and 4, but Drello's going to make his presence known. And as this is happening, Kenny Tremont and Brett Hearn starting to work their way up through the field. They'd be second and third before you knew it in this feature event as the caution comes out for Neil Stratton getting into a slow-moving Gillen Scribner on the back straightaway. Off the restart, it would be Vernold out in front again. Here's Tremont working his way up to the number 2 spot to get by Drellos, and it wouldn't be long until the 115 would take the race lead away. Brett Hearn would look to follow and take that number 2 spot away from Drellos, then work his way around the 97 of Chris Vernold for second as they bring him down the back straightaway. They would fight for the race lead as Tremont would keep it down on the inside, but here's Hearn starting to lurk up top, and this would be a battle for the ages as the caution will come out for Ronnie Johnson. Off the restart, Tremont would go back to the front, but Hearn would try to work his way up onto the outside, looking for that number 1 spot as he would carry him off the cushion a little bit higher that time, and he would take the race lead away. But not so fast, my friend. Here's Tremont trying to battle back in the inside lane, looking for that number 1 spot as he would roll back in front of him up off of turn number 1 and 2 with the 115, nosing out ahead off the corner. They continue to power down the back straightaway as lap traffic will become a factor. Tremont tries to take a little bit of momentum away up through turn number 1 and 2. Here's Hearn going to try to work his way to the inside to try to force Tremont up to the top, and Tremont had him scouted on that one. He would continue to lead that lap. Now Hearn one last shot at Tremont up off of turn number 4. Not going to get him. A big win for Kenny Tremont as he picks up the win at Albany Saratoga. Hearn would finish in second, Vernold would be third, Jack Lehner fourth, and Keith Flack would finish in fifth. A moment of silence at the Track of Champions in honor of those who died while serving our country as we get to the Empire Super Sprint feature event. As Josh Panisic would take the early race lead with Corey Sparks trying to work up the outside. Bobby Barron will be on the move on the outside lane in the early going as he would look to take home the victory at the Track of Champions, pulling double duty on this past Saturday night. Meanwhile, Corey Sparks would go to the outside lane, look to take the race lead away, but here's Panisic going to try to slide back up in front of him up off of turn number 4 as Panisic would look to keep the race lead. But Sparks trying to work back on the outside, and he would get him off of the corner as Corey Sparks would go back to the front. But then it would be trouble on the 1 machine as he would get up into the outside wall and spin around a tough break for the driver of the 1. Off the restart, Panisic would go back out into the front, but he'd be met by one of the veterans of the Empire Super Sprints as here comes the Cobra, Chuck Ebing, up on the outside lane, looking for that number 1 spot as he power up through turn number 1 and 2. He's side-by-side with him for just a second, but takes the lead down into turn number 3 as they fight for position, but here comes Bobby Barron right behind him, and Danny Barron looking to chase him down as well as they go up into turn number 1 and 2. Bobby Barron trying to work his way up on the outside lane here with just about a handful of laps to go to take that race lead away off a corner. He'd get past Panisic, then look to get past the 45 of Hebing, down into turn number 3 and 4. Slide job him up off the corner. Just 5 laps to go. You'd have a new race leader in the form of Bobby Barron. But this race wasn't over yet, and it ain't the Cobra he'd have to worry about as Danny Barron would work his way up on the outside lane to try to get by his father for position. As they come to the checkered flag, Danny Barron would drive right around him and pick up the win as it was truly Barron time at the Fonda Speedway. Bobby Barron would have to settle for second. Chuck Ebing would finish in third, Coleman Gulick fourth, and Fireball Steve Poirier coming home fifth. It's now time for this week's John Ray & Sons fan poll question, which is, which of the 2 tours, the Patriot Sprint Tour or the Empire Super Sprints, do you prefer? Head to facebook.com/RaceProWeekly to cast your answer. Let's take a look at some of the answers from last week's fan poll question, which was, which Super Dirt Series event are you looking forward to the most in 2018? Well, a number of you talking about the Big Show, Cornwall, the Jack Johnson Tribute, Mr. Dirt, and Oswego. There's a lot all over the place, and of course, can't forget the World Finals down in Charlotte. Coming up on Race Pro Weekly, we head to the high banks of the Valley of Speed for the first time in a couple of weeks. Then we'll head down to the Ulster County Bull Ring to see who won down in Accord.
You know, Mother Nature makes the best products, and Ghent Wood Products in Columbia County has figured out the secret. We use locally harvested trees, milled and kiln-dried right on site in Ghent. We stock rough-cut lumber, green or kiln-dried. If you prefer finished products, we offer that too, including shiplap, flooring, paneling, exterior siding, and tabletops. Come check out the reclaimed mushroom wood and barnwood siding. We combine the mill experience with a retail store, so you can go straight to the mill and handpick the wood you want.
There's only one place in the Capital Region for you to get the full racing action. Stop down at the Bobco video booth at the track or call 518-399-0937. Bobco Racing Video, the next best thing to being there.
Hi, I'm Eric Pope, General Manager of John Ray & Sons. We're proud to be offering Bryant heating and air conditioning systems. Just like us, Bryant has been delivering home comfort solutions for more than a century.
Call today for a free consultation and save up to $875 with Bryant bonus rebates.
I'm Michael Laporte, Service Manager. From sales to service, our goal is to keep you comfortable, whatever it takes. Ductless AC is a perfect solution for homes without ductwork, new additions, or anywhere you need cool relief.
Call or visit johnray.com today.
Welcome back to Race Pro Weekly. Some big block modifying heat race action to kick it off as Andy Bacchetti goes around along with Kyle Armstrong. LJ Lombardo nowhere to go. We start the modified feature though with the 1X of Denny Soltis, the Connecticut Yankee, up at the front of the field as he worked his way up through turn number 1 and 2. Contact between Wayne Jelly and Elmo Reckner sends Reckner across with the 98 of Marshall nowhere to go. Both of those drivers would come to a stop. Off the restart, Denny Soltis would reassume control of the feature as he works it up off at turn number 2. He would be your race leader again as the heavy hitters start to work their way up through the field. Here comes J.R. Hefner and the 43 of Keith Flack trying to push their way to the front. Battle for the number 2 spot now as Chad Jezio works on the outside of Steve Huff for position. Ronnie Johnson trying to fight his way up through the field along with Brett Hearn and Kenny Tremont down the back straightaway. As they come off the corner, Colby Schroeder with a great run going as he's in the top 5 with Hearn now working his way to the inside of Hefner trying to fight for position behind Keith Flack. Now we got a battle for the lead as here comes the 25 machine to Jezio. He would slide up in front of the 1X of Soltis and take that number 1 spot away as trouble would come on the 35 of LJ Lombardo as he would roll down the front straightaway. Off the restart, Jezio will be back out in front, but here comes Ronnie Johnson looking to make his move on the inside. He would get by Brett Hearn, then Denny Soltis, and then go to work on Colby Schroeder looking for that number 2 spot. He would almost get it with a handful of laps to go, but Schroeder just a little bit too strong as they come down off of turn number 4. Schroeder working that outside lane. There's Ronnie Johnson getting that number 2 spot as he'd slide up in front of him, but here comes Schroeder going to battle back on the inside of that 99 machine, but it was all behind Chad Jezio, who picks up win number 1 at the Valley of Speed. Second would be Schroeder. Third, Arche with a great run. Brett Hearn coming home in 4th, and Wayne Jelly would finish in 5th. Other winners on the night would be J.R. Hefner in the small blocks, Ricky Duzlak in the pro stocks, Clifford Booth in pure stock number 1, Zach Sorrentino pure stock number 2, pure stock number 3 going to Jeff Kreuzinger, and in the 4 cylinders, Kenny Stager would take the dual cam, Jim Williams would take the single cam. Down to the Ulster County Bull Ring we go with some rookie sportsman action, and oh well, yeah, that's not good. But some good news for this one. Our buddy John Brown, who owns Land Home Maintenance, coming home with a 4th place finish. Congratulations to him as we move to the modified feature event, as Scott Ferrier would take the early lead down at the Ulster County Bull Ring as they work their way up through the corner, but it would be Jerry Higbee on the move on the inside lane early as he would look to take the number 2 spot away up through turn number 1 and 2. Wouldn't take him long to get that position as here comes the 97 working it down on the inside lane to try to get by Ferrier for that number 1 spot as they work him up off of turn number 2. They go side by side down the back straightaway. And into turn number 3 and 4, they'd fly, but now coming into 1 and 2, caution would come out on the speedway, which would re-rack the field once again. Off the restart, the Statesman would take the number 1 spot away as Higbee would battle up into turn number 1 and 2, and this would allow Anthony Perego to make a move, try to get up into the number 2 spot as he would start to hound the rest of the field. He'd try to get by the 20 of Ferrier for position. He'd slide up in front of him and take the lane away. Up off by turn number 4, he'd be your new 2nd place man trying to run down Higbee. Cars still trying to work their way up to the field as Higbee masterfully moving through lap traffic up through turn number 3 and 4 as you see him working it up off the corner. Nobody was really touching Higbee in this one, though, as the Statesman picks up the win at the Accord Speedway. Second would be Perego. Mike Rickey would finish in third. Scott Farrier fourth, and Jesse Marks would finish in fifth. Other winners on the night, Leo Fotopoulos would grab the win in the Sportsman. Travis Green would grab the win in the Rookie Sportsman. Wingless sprints would go to Jeremy Quick. Some more winners, Emerson Cargan Jr. would pick up the win in the Pure Stocks. Held over Pure Stocks would go to Steve Williams. And Jeremy Kingeter would pick up the win in the 4 cylinders. When we come back on Race Pro Weekly, you'll see the wild finish from the Patriot Sprint Tour event at Albany Saratoga. And we'll take a look and see who won at Can-Am in the small blocks. Keep it locked right here on Race Pro Weekly. Reputable. Reliable. Results. That's what you get when you call Rick and the professionals at RCT Roofing. Quality service at fair prices. RCT gets the job done. Just like Nick Stone and the RCT Pro Stock. RCT Roofing, we've got you covered.
Spring is finally here and the temperatures are rising and the deals are hotter than ever. Hi, I'm Charlie Morris of Morris Ford in Burnt Hills. You have to come in for the hottest cars, trucks, and SUVs on the market today here at Morris Ford, all with leading technology and advanced safety. With thousands off and low payments, there's never been a better time to buy a new Ford. So come in to Morris Ford and let us show you why we've been selling cars in the Capital District for over 46 years.
Our Morris will always be number 1.
Courage at the mile. What part does courage play in this victory?
Kinzer going into the corner, trying to get by Dale Waxo, makes contact.
Hell of a lot, I'll tell you that right there.
So many times, everybody had lost track. Look at how it got up on the center track.
Tell you what, that was some close races at a high speed.
The World of Outlaws create memories for fans every night. Now share your favorite Outlaw moment on social media. Whether it was 1978, 1998, or 2018, we want to know, what's your Outlaw moment? Did you sneak into a victory lane picture? Get whiplash driving past a parking lot full of crews at work? Or maybe you simply got to meet your favorite driver in the pits after the races. Tweet it, Instagram it, just use the hashtag #MyOutlawMoment. You might even hear Voice of the Outlaws Johnny Gibson share your memory at the track. Don't delay, start posting today. Let us know with My Outlaw Moment.
Welcome back to RPW as we head to Can-Am for some more small block action. Danny O'Brien's car getting ready to go as the green flag would drop on the 25-lap small block modified feature event as they power up into turn number 1 and 2. Timmy Fuller working it up on the outside of Jordan McCready early as you see Danny O'Brien fighting for position up on the outside lane. He'd move his way up through the field in the early going as cars trying to jockey for position. As this is a battle in for number 4 spot as now O'Brien and Dunn go side by side as the machine gun looking to power his way up through turn number 3 and 4. Meanwhile, the Pocket Rocket wouldn't waste too long as he would work his way around to take the number 2 spot away down the back straightaway and try to go for the number 1 spot as Fuller would try to battle out behind him looking for position as Danny O'Brien was very smooth in this early going of this feature event. A great battle between 3 guys fighting for positions off the corner as this continued to be a great 3-wide move, but Danny O'Brien at this point would be the best car in the race as the caution would come out for a couple of cars up through turn number 3 and 4. Off the restart, O'Brien would take control of the race lead up off by turn number 2 as the field trying to chase him down. Timmy Fuller moves him to the number 2 spot. Billy Dunn up to 3rd as they push through turn number 1 and 2 this time. Meanwhile, Dunn trying to work on the outside of Fuller for that number 2 position as O'Brien starts to get away from the rest of the field. You see him riding the cushion up through turn number 1 and 2. Dunn trying to chase him down as they power off the corner once again. And here comes O'Brien picking up the first win of the season out at Can-Am. Second will be Tim Fuller. Billy Dunn would finish in 3rd. Nick Webb 4th. And Jordan McCready would finish in 5th. Other winners on the night, Sportsman would go to Joel Hall, Sid Harbour Jr. in the Pro Street Stocks. Thunder Stocks to Joe Orvis. Addison Bowman grabbing the win in the Rookie Sportsman. And the Enduro would go to Adrian Bigelow. Some Pro Stock action to take a look at first at the Gray Race Place as Nick Stone goes around. And, well, that's what we like to call on this show a parking lot party. Meanwhile, Kenny Martin would pick up his 3rd win of the season in the Pro Stock division. We'd go to the Patriot Sprint Tour feature event as Fireball. Steve Poirier would take the early race lead down the back straightaway with Danny Varon in tow in that number 2 spot. Chuck Ebing trying to work it up on the outside lane and look to get his way up through the field as Varon would take the lead spot away, but Poirier going to battle back up off of turn number 4, and he would continue to hold the race lead down the front straightaway. The drivers would continue to fight for position up off the corner as Varon would take the lead with about 11 laps to go as the field's starting to work its way up through. As here comes Chuck Ebing, as mentioned before, and Jason Barney moving into that number 3 spot. Barney fighting with Poirier for second. Now up off of the corner as they continue to race for the lead. Trouble on the 00 of Varon as they come off of turn number 4. He would break. That would move Poirier into the lead as the caution would come out on the speedway. A tough break for the Dover brake car number 00 machine. Off the restart, Poirier would have the number 1 spot, but contact between Barney and Poirier would leave Fireball up in a mess in turn number 3. He would spin around and come to a stop, and that would bring out the caution again. Off the restart, there was no panic as Davey Franek would lurk his way up on the outside lane, then pull what I like to call an electric slide job up off by turn number 4. He'd take the race lead away, but as they come down into turn number 3 and 4, Franek would have it as for a split second coming to the white flag as he would look to take the lead back once again. Down the back straightaway they go. Barney gets into the back of Franek, and that allows Chuck Ebing to take advantage as the Cobra goes to victory lane in the Patriot Sprint Tour. Second was Jeff Cook. Third would be Corey Sparks. Jason Barney fourth, and Matt Tanner would round out the top 5. Other winners on the night would be Tim Hartman Jr. in the Sportsman, Kenny Martin in the Pro Stocks, and Randy Miller taking the win in the Street Stocks, along with Justin Buff in the Limited Sportsman. Some heat race action at the Track of Champions as Darwin Green takes a wild ride, getting into the turn 1 wall and going up and over multiple times down on the outside of the cushion. We go to the modified feature now, as you see Green being taken off of the hook, as Josh Owen Force and Jeremy Wilder would lead the field to the green up through turn number 1 and 2, and it would be the Apollo Rocket trying to get by the 24 as they roll down into turn number 3 and 4 for the first time. He would work the outside lane, and it would be the 6H going to the front, getting around the 24 of Jeremy Wilder up off at turn number 2. He'd be the race leader as he fight for position, as here's the 44 of Friesen trying to work his way up past the 34 of Sean Pagman for position as he goes down the front straightaway. Bobby Varon trying to battle back on the Hallmark International car number 44. Friesen continuing to work his way up through the field. He get by Wilder for the number 2 spot. And we've seen this before, folks. The 44 up into the runner-up spot early in this event as cars still trying to push their way up through the field as Varon would work his way by the 24 of Wilder for position. Is now Hohen Force up on the outside, opens the door too much, and here comes Stewie. Stuart Friesen working it down the front straightaway, closing the gap. They go side by side down the back straightaway as Friesen would try to work it down up at turn number 4 and glide down the front straightaway. He would be your new race leader as they worked him up into turn number 1 and 2. He'd slide up into the cushion as the caution would come out for Tim Fuller, who would have to go pit side. Keep an eye on him as he would try to roll his way back up through the field. Here's Rocky Warner trying to make a move, but he's caught on the inside by Sean Pagman for position down the backstretch. Jessica Zemkin going to deliver a hip check to Vinnie Sanginetti up off of turn number 4 as well, as she would get by and pick up another position. Meanwhile, here's Tim Fuller trying to work his way back up through the field on the outside lane, but it's behind Stuart Friesen, who picks up another one at the Fonda Speedway. Second will be Josh Owen Force. Jeremy Wilder would finish in third. Bobby Varon coming home fourth, and Rocky Warner with the top 5 out at the Track of Champions. Other winners on the night, Nick Scabia would pick up the win in the Sportsman. Pro Stocks, we go to Kenny Gates. Derek McGrew Jr. would grab the win in the Limited Sportsmans, and Rob Van Arnhem would pick up the win in the Street Stocks. Up next on RPW, we head to Devil's Bowl for the first time for the King of Dirt Sportsman opener for the season. And we'll go into pits with one of the sprint car drivers who made his way into the Capital Region last week. Performance, quality, service. That's DMC Racing Products. Hundreds of name brand parts, competitive prices. That's DMC. DMC Racing Products. Race to win.
I'm Brian from 1-800-GOT-JUNK. This is my main man, Tom, and my other main man, Tom.
You never know how much junk you've got until you move.
Point to something you wish would disappear.
Would it be possible to... It's gone!
All you have to do is point.
Where have you been all my life?
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
If you are a tracker series that would like to be highlighted on Race Pro Weekly, email us at show@raceproweekly.com. Welcome back to Race Pro Weekly. We start you off with some mini sprint action up at Devil's Bowl for the first time, and, well, that's not good. It was not a good night for them. King of Dirt Sportsman feature event would lead off the field, the Stars and Stripes 30, and the 11 on White River Junction's Josh Sun would lead the field up through turn number 1 and 2 for the first time. But it's Devil's Bowl, it's Kenny Tremont. You knew he was coming on the inside lane in a hurry as he would move from 6th to 2nd in just 2 laps, working his way on the outside of Jordan Fornwalt for position as he rolled it down the back straightaway. Cars trying to work their way up through the field as Chris Curtis is there along with Adam Pearson trying to fight their way through for position. Scott Dool in there as well as they work their way up off the corner as cars would continue to go down the front straightaway. And hey, there's the Wiggletown Institute of Technology professor, Bucko Branham, trying to work his way up through the field as Chris Curtis and Jordan Fornwalt come together down the front straightaway. Keep that in mind a little bit later as the field would work their way through the corner once again. Meanwhile, battle for the lead as Tremont is caught up with the 11 and Josh Sun up off of turn number 4. He would take the number 1 spot away as they roll down the front straightaway. Adam Pearson with a big move up through the corner. And then Fornwalt, Sabia, and Curtis come together with Curtis getting the worst of it on the left front. He would hit the inside retaining wall hard up into turn number 3, and that would end the night for the driver, the 35. Off the restart, here's Tremont and Sun going side by side for the race lead one more time, and Josh Sun keeping it in front with every move Tremont had for him. But he wasn't done just yet. Meanwhile, here's Adam Pearson working to the number 4 spot. He would get by Michael Sabia for position on the inside lane. Then look to go to work as here's Chad Edwards trying to hold him off for the number 3 spot, but the battle on the racetrack was for the lead. Take a look at this move Josh Sun made between the Outlaw Jason Bruno and the 18 at Kevin Ward as he would slide back into turn number 3. But Tremont would run him down and slide up in front of him, take his lane away with just a handful of laps to go. But watch this. There's no other way to put it. Josh Sun absolutely takes Kenny Tremont to school down the back straightaway by getting the lead back on a slingshot move. As they work their way up through turn number 1 and 2 for the final time, Tremont would bobble, and that's all Josh Sun would need as he would pick up the KOD Sportsman opener at Devil's Bowl. Second would be Kenny Tremont, third Adam Pearson, fourth Chad Edwards, and Connor Cleveland would round out the top 5. Other winners on the night, the Skull Sprints would go to Dan Duville. Travis Billington would win the Limited Sportsman. Super Stocks to Chris Murray. Mini Stocks to Mike Preston. And the 500cc Mini Sprints would go to Cody O'Brien. This past weekend, a young second-generation driver by the name of Jordan Thomas made his way in with the Patriot Sprint and ESS Tours. Fast Eddie caught up with him in the pits last week to see how he is following the footsteps of his dad.
Jordan Thomas, can you tell the fans where you're from and where you got your start racing?
I'm from Harding, Pennsylvania, and I started racing go-karts when I was 5 down at the Fonda Speedway, and then we did a lot of state races with that, and when I turned 14, that was my last year in the go-karts, and then we moved into 360 sprint cars.
So you started racing the 360 sprint cars, you finished 4th in points last year on the Patriot Sprint Tour. How hard is it to be on the road with these guys?
It's pretty tough because a lot of these guys have way more experience than I do, and they've been running these tracks year after year, and I'm just starting to get used to the slick tracks and learning little by little how to get it hooked up when it starts slicking off. That's just where we kind of struggle a little bit, but tonight we're looking to gain some momentum here and carry it on through the rest of the season.
Your dad was a great sprint car racer. How much does that help you driving?
It's been a tremendous help. Just that we started out kind of with a good starting point with all his knowledge, and yeah, it just really helped us. We knew where we needed to be going to every track because he raced all these tracks, so he had the car pretty good. I just had to hold up my end of the driving part.
What was the biggest difference getting out of the go-karts and into the sprint cars?
Just the speed and the acceleration, really. The go-karts really helped me with the handling wise and keeping the car steady. But other than that, it was just really speed and not much else.
What's the long-term plan for you in sprint car racing?
We're just going to take it week by week and hopefully get some new sponsors, anyone that wants to come on board, and just carry on through the season and see what next year brings.
It's now time for this week's NISCA Performer of the Week, and with Ken Tremont Jr.'s win on Friday night, it gave Ken Tremont Sr. a win in 50 different years as a car owner. So that gives Ken Tremont Sr. this week's Performer, and he's now eligible for the Performer of the Year award given out at the end of the season.
That's all for this week's show. For the latest news, results, and photos, check out Race Pro Weekly online at www.raceproweekly.com, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. So for myself, Bobby Chalmers, Fast Eddie, Scott Morlock, Amber Chalmers, and everyone that helps put Race Pro Weekly together, thank you for watching this week's episode, and we'll see you next time.